Hello and welcome back, guys, to another episode of Next Gen Talk. For those of you joining us for the first time, do check out our previous episodes where we talk about all sorts of fun stuff that has been happening in tech. Before we get into this week's tech news, we just want to thank all of our viewers and subscribers on Instagram who helped us in
Choose our
voting
cover
and let
art.
us choose our new podcast cover for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, what do you think about the new cover?
I
Between
love
the
it.
two, which one were
You
you
must be
hoping
you
for?
must be really glad that we did not get the italic
You
one.
have no idea. You have no idea. The other one, I don't even know why it was there, but I'm so happy
It's
this
a
is the
choice.
one.
So this is the one. This is the one. Your favorite one. I really
Oh,
like it.
one.
I really love it.
I I,
I
I
really
really
love
like it too,
how
for sure.
detailed it is.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. I mean, great job by the designer. He has done a great job. I mean, also my wish of getting a haircut has come true there, so that's
And
great
the
there.
way it is represented. I mean, like this is one of the monuments in Toronto, isn't it?
Right. Yeah,
And
CN
this is
Tower.
obviously the Harbor Bridge, and this is the Opera House. So it's Toronto and Sydney combining, and we are talking about technology in general. So it's really combines quite well, including the mic. So I really like it, the whole
Oh yeah,
combination of things and how it
100%.
works. The design is just
Huge
great. I'm
shout out
really
to the designer.
impressed.
Like for any of you who are looking for a logo, do check out A. Dot Designs on Fiverr. He does great cartoon work, like hands off.
Highly
Yeah.
recommended.
So let's get into some interesting stuff that happened in the last couple of weeks. First and foremost is Apple came out with some new products, especially the one that you've been dying for the last few months, like almost a year now, are the AirTags.
Yeah, AirTags
You
has
finally
been
have something.
yeah AirTags has been rumored so much. Okay. And
Right.
then in the beginning of January, we decided we will do a Samsung launch, but we couldn't
Mhm,
because the episode fell short. But during
mhm,
that time, I told you that the smart tag is one of the things that I'm interested in that came out by
mhm.
Samsung. Where it came first, okay,
Right.
and AirTags was still rumored. But finally, we have AirTags with the shittiest and design ever. We do
You don't
not
like the
give you a
design?
hole. I love the design, but why don't you have
Okay.
a hole for a keychain? No, you can't because it's Apple. You need an accessory, you need a dongle,
Of
you
course.
need a carrying leather. What
I
that's
mean,
the
why
only
would
thing
you
that is pissing me off right now.
why would you sell two pieces together when you can sell them separately? I mean, why sell a phone and a charger together? It has to be separate. Like that's the only logical way.
So you have seen smart tag, right? And
Mhm.
we do plan in the future that we will review both of these items. I will review the
Yep.
AirTag, and Salman will review the smart tag, and we will both buy it in different countries. So we'll give you perspective from two different countries. That will be our aim for it.
Oh yeah,
So really
100%.
excited for it. The delivery times are taking. The delivery is taking time because of the pandemic and the lockdown situation. There is it.
Yes, lockdown and like the overall logistics in the world, all around the world has been affected by this, right? Like so that plays a big role.
Oh, for
But
us, there is a specific reason we are not getting right now.
why is that?
So, Australians have kind of banned AirTags at the moment because it is not considered safe, as it is very easy to remove the battery for children.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
so we are not. They are not selling in Australia at the moment.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Interesting. But what do you think about the tags in general, though? Because I know you were really looking forward to it. So I really love the
yeah,
size and shape, man. I think they have done a great job with it.
yeah.
And for me,
First
the
of all,
biggest
yeah.
thing is the price. I was expecting it to be 80, 85, $90. For $29, I'm just happy I'll buy it just because it's so cheap.
So let's start with what is AirTag.
Mhm.
Okay, so AirTag is basically a device that will help you locate your keys, your bag,
Right.
anything that will keep a small ring-sized, like coin-size device with
Mhm.
that item. Okay,
Right.
it will use a Find My Phone app. The settings will be sorry, the feature will be in your settings, and you will be
Mhm.
able to locate that item anywhere. With the newer
Mhm.
iPhones, you will be actually be able to locate a precise location of the item. Again, we don't
Mhm.
have proper reviews for it. We will actually put it to practice when we actually have it and we actually read about when it comes out.
Right.
Well, one of the things that were introduced is the new Apple TV. Okay, the
Mhm.
set-top box. Do you use any set-top box?
I use Fire Stick for some time,
Fire Stick?
but no, yeah, I
Anything else
don't
apart from
own one
Fire
right
Stick?
now. No,
Nothing.
I've used like in small capacity. I've used
Chromecast?
Google's device, Google Chromecast. I've used Chromecast for a bit, and I've used Fire Stick, but I have not used any other devices.
So Apple TV is something like that. It has it comes it's this box that comes with a lot of apps and stuff. You have
Mhm.
there's a whole Apple ecosystem that's integrated with it. And then
Right,
one of the things about Apple TV was that it was taking a long time to do hardware upgrade. Software upgrades they're great at. It's the hardware upgrades
right,
Apple is bad at.
right.
So this is the event they finally actually came up with a new Apple TV hardware. It comes with
Mhm.
4K support, and finally you can actually stream Dolby Vision videos from your phone directly to
Audio.
Apple TV
Mhm.
using AirPlay like Chromecast.
Mhm.
So that was not supported. That is also currently not supported when I tried with my TV. It uses a different format. It doesn't convert directly to Dolby Vision, which it is supposed to.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
needs Apple TV, which is now the bothering part of it. I use NVIDIA Shield as my set-top box. It's an
Okay.
Android machine. So limitations, no ecosystem. You can't play Dolby.
I mean, they'll eventually get there. Like, they always take more time, so I'm not surprised at that at all.
It's not the greatest device out there, but within ecosystem, it is one
Mhm.
of the best devices you can have. But well, how many do you have choices? To be
I
honest,
mean, not the cheapest, but yeah, because if you see, there's a huge jump between all the other devices like this and then Apple TV. But I mean, it falls in line
see,
with what Apple does.
personally,
So
I recommend. No, personally, I think that Android top boxes are better than Apple only because you have more choices or
right,
what you can view on the top boxes. With Apple, you're still
hmm
a lot restricted to what you can watch.
of course,
Okay, within the Apple ecosystem, which is still bothersome for me. But
one
you
hundred
know,
percent.
it is quality. It is what it is. It is great what it does. Apple TV
It's just limited in its own
in
way.
its own
That's the
area, yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and then see, a lot of these things are being targeted towards the creators and the photographers and the videographers, such as
Mhm.
this the new iMac that came recently.
I loved it. I
It's so
really loved
pretty.
it. They've done an amazing job, and for me, the best thing is they have M1 in it, man. That M1 is one of the best things Apple have done in the last 5 years. It's
Tell me
just
something about Apple.
brilliant.
Tell me what happened with Apple one M1 last year. Come to me as if nothing. I don't know anything about Apple,
Mhm.
and Apple has changed something big last year. What is it?
Right. So Apple made a big change in their mobiles, in the processor that they've been using in their computers and in their MacBooks and their iMacs. So what they've done is, instead of using Intel's chips that they were using for the longest time, Intel processors like i5, i9, i7,
Hmm.
instead this year they went with a completely in-house device, which is M1, and this is not only far better in terms of performance, but because it works on a mobile architecture, it uses far less energy than an Intel chip used to take. And
Oh,
in terms of performance, it's not only keeping up with Intel, it's going far beyond Intel. So
yeah.
an M1 chip, which is not the highest performance, according to Apple, it's not their highest performance chip, is still giving competition to Intel's highest performance chip, which is i9. So
Which is
that
so
should tell you
sad.
something about it. That should tell you something about
Which,
it.
and that was sad to hear. You know why? Because
Mhm.
we have been uh, going through, like, we have in our mind, we are using the best performance, the best processor by using i9.
Mhm.
Technically, other companies are doing much better because there's so less competition.
Mhm.
We cannot
I mean,
actually, see.
that started to change a few years ago when like AMD entered the market, and they have been making some really good processors in the last few years. But I think with player like Apple, this would only help the competition even more, helping to improve the overall quality. Because I was reading this report where it said that because Intel for the longest time held the market as a market leader, they
Hmm.
started to get complacent. So things like this would help them catching up and
Get
improving the overall quality.
I hope so. I hope they have faster processor. I mean, we are getting closer to quantum computing, so I hope so.
I want to
Anyway,
talk about make a whole podcast about quantum computing. That is just next level stuff, man.
we
But
will
yeah,
definitely.
for another day. For another day.
Back to this, obviously iMac bought with M1, and then it has a 4.5K display also. I've got new colors also. Do you like any specific color?
I think I like the green, the light
greenish
green
pink.
tea color. I
Yeah,
really like that one. That is
it looks
nice. The
very
light,
bright.
yeah, the light orangish shade of it. I don't like the
Yeah.
red one. It looks weird. But yeah, the green one is really like it's just the right shade.
Mm. To
So
not too bright,
that's
not
pretty
too
nice.
dark kind of shade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I also really like the keyboards they introduced with it, because I know they have new mouses with matching aluminum at the bottom and
Yeah.
trackpads, but the new keyboards that they came with two different varieties, where
Mm-hmm.
you have specific keys that you can use on one keyboard, and on the other keyboard you have Touch ID.
Okay.
Yep. So I like that piece too.
And it's really interesting. I mean, like personally, I would not get iMac generally, because
Okay.
mainly because I'm a laptop fan rather than a desktop fan. Only because of that. I mean, I would rather get MacBook Pro, but then again, the limitations of
Huh.
laptops
See,
has
for me, it's the other way. Like I would not get an iMac if it's up to me. For me, it's Mac Mini. It's a
Mac
lot
Mini.
more.
Ah,
There's a lot more I can do with it, and like it's very easy to carry it around and take it anywhere.
but
Like
you
for me,
still
I
need
like
two big
having
monitors. See,
that's
that's the
still more
problem I have
accessible,
to
right?
face.
Instead of carrying my iMac around, it's easier to carry one little piece, and you can find a monitor somewhere, right?
What if you
So
don't
for me,
find a
that's
monitor?
you carry a portable monitor.
Oh, see, that's that's just dumb. That's just next level dumb. Why would you carry
I'm
a?
not advocating. I'm not advocating for that. What I'm saying is, for me
Hmm.
personally, more than laptops, even the laptops are super portable. Of course, they're much useful, but like I like big setups where I can have a bunch of different screens, and something like iMac or like a custom made PC is a lot better for me than a laptop, because you
No
get a
way
lot more
in
freedom to play
hell.
around.
No way in hell would you go for iPad.
No, God, no. I don't think life has come down to
They
that
always
point
try
yet.
to keep introducing, and this new iPad that came recently also has M1, and it has the new display
Only the
also.
Pro version, though.
Only the
Only the
Pro
Pro version
version.
has
Yep.
M1. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Only the Pro version has M1. Only the Pro version has this new mini LEDs, where it has actually 10,000 LEDs in the new display. It
Which is
has.
just brilliant.
So how much it is, like, you see how this is targeted towards the whole that creative photography and videography space, and
Right.
everything is advertised as precise colors. Everything's
Mhm.
HDR, XDR, all these are just terms to, and in the end there's only one thing they are trying to achieve: precise colors. All these
Mhm.
terms such as XDR, Dolby Vision, all these are same. Okay,
Mhm.
in the end it's always precise colors. We need to
Right.
edit to be precise to create those Hollywood kind of movies.
Mhm.
So, but again, nothing compared to laptop, can it? iPad.
It doesn't, but see, at the same time, my personal preference aside, because for me, I like bigger machines, as I said. Uh, iPad, the way they have been marketing it, obviously they're trying to target more content creators and designers and artists and all these people. Like for them, it's a very handy tool to have, because iPad, it's a brilliant device. The way it has been designed in the chip, and I think ever since 2018, they've been very clear about who their target audience is for people who like to design on the go, the people who need to have that sort of convenience.
Yeah,
For them, this is a perfect thing. At the same time, they want to do any. And with the introduction of M1 chips now, not only can you design, you can also play around, do rendering without worrying too much about this machine dying on you.
yeah,
So I think that's adding to the appeal for any content. For example, if you're a graphic designer who travels a lot, for you, this is a perfect thing. You
yeah,
can keep doing your illustrations without worrying about anything about capacity or performance.
yeah.
So in that
In that
regard, I think
case,
it's a really good piece.
yeah, I think, would you get one? I mean, considering you are not into all these
No, I'm
photography
not.
and all.
Uh, I would love to get one. Like, I love iPads in general. I think they're really well designed. I would love to get one to use it as a tablet, but I would never use it as a computer. I know there are people who do that, but for me, that's no. For me,
No.
it's a tablet, and I'll use it as a tablet.
What if they bought Mac OS to iPad and gave you the
Still,
keyboard and the mouse?
I assume I
The
would have to
whole
purchase then. At that point, I'll
duh.
just buy a MacBook Air.
No, I mean at the convenience of 12.9-inch screen with the whole keyboard and the mouse on the go.
I'm a lazy person. I want to carry one thing, which is I'll just open it up. I have my trackpad, my keyboard, everything in it.
But then that's a
Because if
laptop. We are arguing here about two things. If you want convenience, you gotta compromise one thing. Compromise some things, right? But you love big setups. We talked about you want the small Mac Mini.
Mac Minis, which I
If you
can
want to
attach
carry
monitors, yeah.
the ultimate travel device, what would it be? A proper
Ultimate
PC ultimate travel device.
a MacBook
Laptop.
Pro.
I mean, a
MacBook Pro.
laptop in general. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. A
a
laptop.
laptop, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I will stick with laptop at any day.
100%.
Of all,
So do
I
I.
mean, yeah. My only thing with Mac Mini is that although you can carry around everywhere, you can still not operate it without
Of
accessories.
course not. No, see, what I meant with Mac Mini was it's easier. For example, if I'm going somewhere for 15, 20 days and I have access to a monitor, I would take this with me because I can play around with it more. It's more powerful and all that stuff. But when I'm still traveling, like in a plane or in a bus or anywhere, obviously a laptop. I cannot use Mac Minis there. Like that would be just madness. Even for me, that's too much. So no.
Fair enough. I mean, we can argue about it all day. Let's talk about the arguments that are going about between Apple versus Epic.
I have so many questions because I don't know 90% of it. Like I
Okay.
know Epic Games, I know Fortnite, I know these names.
Yeah,
But there's
for
so
me
much
also it's
going on.
much more same. But I've been reading a lot, so I do have an idea what is going on.
No, that and like because I know you play games a lot, so you can understand. You have a better understanding of it from that point of view.
Yeah.
I know the bare basic, but yeah, let's just start with summarizing of what's happening.
So before I go into that, I just want to talk about what happened with Google Stadia. Okay, Google Stadia started out
Is
as
it Stadia or Stadia?
Whatever. How do you want to pronounce it? We'll go from there.
I don't know, man. I'm asking you.
we'll just guess. We'll go Stadia.
Okay.
Stadia.
Okay, sure.
Stadia. Okay.
I'll call it Stadia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with Stadia. Okay. So Stadia started as a Google service. It's supposed to be cloud computing and it's supposed to be streaming games like Netflix.
Right.
And then Google said that they would want to make their own AAA games titles. Okay. As Sundar Pichai announced in 2018, and by last year, they shut down the division. So why did it fail? Apparently, Google did not have, as a tech company, the understanding of how difficult it is to make games. Google as a company is a tech company. It does not have roles for content creation. And it requires a lot of creativity as well as disciplinary to create a game.
Yeah, they have dependency because they're not specialized in it.
Yeah, imagine in a world, in an open world game where there's so many items placed, each item is by one person. Okay, and that kind of discipline and that kind of management was not available at Google, and that is one of the biggest reasons behind its failure. What it should have done was acquire studios like Microsoft, which would have been better. Okay, so Microsoft went on a spree of acquiring studios throughout the years, not only recently, but recent acquisition was Bethesda, which is one of the biggest studio.
Right.
So they are completely into gaming business. Okay, they have Xbox. They are having their own they will create their own AA titles. Okay, so this basically, I just want to make people understand how gaming industry works and how tech industry. These are two different things. They're not same things. There will be different roles here. Okay, and there will be different roles here. You can't have project managers and project managers, same kind of project managers here. It will not work.
Even on a technological level, right? Because apart from the content creation part, the requirements of maintaining gaming servers might be different than what you're doing with regular servers for Google Drives and all that. So I think
Yeah.
even technology stack would differ a bit on that.
In that case, yes. For example, you see Apple here. Okay, Apple is a company that is a tech company, and then Epic Games, which is a game company. A game
Mhm.
company has to take care of everything, such as expansion and all that, loot and all that, everything that is in-app purchases and stuff. A lot of things has to be carefully tailored
Right.
towards. And Fortnite has been doing it so well throughout years that it has the biggest revenue of all time, $9 billion in revenue.
In
One
the
of
last
the
2 years.
biggest games,
That's
and
insane. Yeah.
on every single platform.
Mm.
Not only that, they have revolutionized gaming. Okay,
Mhm.
they bought consoles to game. Okay, they bought mini games. They will bring in a world to game, which will be more like what we talked about as an Earth 2,
Mhm.
which is their eventual play, which is how the trial started. Before I get into trial, just so context why the trial started is that what happened was Fortnite was available on iOS. Okay,
Mhm.
what happens is when you go and buy stuff on Fortnite, Fortnite is free to play, but when you buy in-app purchases,
Yeah.
30% of purchase goes to Apple,
Mhm.
which was the problem with Epic Games. Why should we give 30% to Apple?
Mhm.
From then on, Sweeney, who is the CEO of Epic Games, planned out that
Mhm.
he will take over fight with Apple over the App Store fees. He actually
Mhm.
informed Microsoft that he will pick up the fight. That actually was revealed during the trial. And what he did
Yeah.
was, it was quite sneaky. Instead of directly
Mhm.
talking to them, he went ahead and put in a payment system right
In
next to
the
the
app.
Apple, right
Yeah.
next to the Apple
That you
payment.
can, so you can bypass Apple's thing and you can buy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they did it from a server side, from their own
Mhm.
side. They couldn't. Apple did not know. Okay,
Right.
and from then on, it just started. Apple threw them out. Right after it happened, right after they found out, it came on a tweet. It happened, and they threw them out. And from then on, the attack started. And from then on, points onwards, the trial already started. Okay, they were already suing each other,
Mhm.
or like, why are you cutting the
Mhm.
fees and all that? So here we are. We are now at Epic versus Apple. Okay. What do you think so far? I mean, like about the App Store, Playcut, and whatever has Epic Games done.
I mean, Apple was, and again, just purely from a policy perspective, Apple was right to throw Epic out
Yeah.
because they have the policy for developers that you cannot do that because that's the policy for all the different apps you have on iOS, right? On App Store.
Mhm.
So I think they were fair to do that. But at the same time, I can understand Epic's point of view because I think I was reading how the difference in revenue that they're making. So I think their monthly revenue from PlayStation 4 alone is about $150 million per month.
Yeah.
What they make from iOS is not even 30 million because they
Mhm.
have to give away a big chunk of their earnings to Apple. So I can understand their point of view that they want to cut down Apple's revenue, but just saying that it should be available for free. Uh, for me, I don't think Apple would go for that. Realistically, Apple is not going to do that.
Apple's arguments, which are valid, are like we have to
Mhm.
maintain App Store and take care of the review and changes and whatnot. And
Right.
Epic's argument against that are that your App Store is not as good as you might show it, which is kind of true because not every app goes through that rigorous review as Apple
Mhm.
shows it to be. There are some apps that
Right.
actually uh, bypass through. I mean, for months, it happens through
Mhm.
months that they bypass, and Apple never knows. It happened once that Hulu was also trying something like this. Okay,
Mhm.
where they were trying to cancel Apple subscription and bring some people to Hulu Live TV.
Mhm.
Apple did not know till one of the person tweeted, and one of the higher ups actually got that tweet going
Sweet. Yeah.
within the company, and they booted. And Hulu actually stopped using in-app purchase altogether.
Mhm.
Okay, but it's not that great of an app store, but it is one of the best out there, and it
In
integrates
terms
with
of maintaining
iOS.
quality, yes. Yep.
And which is
100% they're
again
far
the
better.
whole argument again that now the argument has come down to that the game itself, okay,
Hmm.
and the devices on which it's
Hmm.
played, how are they described as? Okay,
Hmm.
so you have a laptop and you have an Xbox, you have a phone, all of them do basically the same thing. So how
For
would you
that game.
describe for the no, for the game and other purposes also? So you can watch TV,
Okay. Hmm.
in multi-purpose entertainment device. That's what they want
Right.
to call it, a general purpose device. So do you categorize Xbox, a Windows laptop, and a phone in the same category, or would it be a different category? That's the question that has it come down to.
Hmm.
So what do you think? Is the phone
I
a
mean,
same category as Xbox? And considering the fact that Xbox and PlayStation never make profit on their consoles, they only put you into the ecosystem.
exactly. They make it from store purchases and everything.
Yeah.
For me personally, since I don't game, I don't think Xbox has anything to do with my day-to-day thing. So I would say for me, they're completely different devices. My use cases for each of them are completely different. It can serve same features at the same time, but it also comes down to what's more common in terms of consumption for people, right?
Mhm.
For a vast majority of people, I don't think you would sit down on your laptop to listen to music for the most part,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I
And
mean,
Xbox obviously.
yeah, in a pandemic world it might be different, but before this, you are traveling or you're going somewhere, that's when you access music, like that's when you access music, and you don't open your laptop for that, right? So depending on what you're doing, similarly, unlike me, because I use Facebook on laptop, majority of the people don't.
Hmm.
All these apps, so I think, yeah, different devices have different uses, so I don't understand the rationale of putting them as same devices.
Into one
What about you?
category. Okay, every device for me, every device has a purpose. Okay, so for phone, you
But see,
gotta
you survive, like 80% of your day in general is on your phone anyway, right? Like
because
from calling to
I have transformed from laptop being my primary device to phone being my primary device because how tech has
just
involved.
sad. Okay.
Not because how the I have moved the
You're
just because
you're
how tech
forgetting
has
your
evolved.
you're forgetting your roots, man, but okay.
I'm not fan of laptops and I'm not fan of desktop anymore. I'm fan of laptops, but I'm not a fan of desktop anymore. I have outgrown desktop.
Yeah, see, I don't think I can say that yet. I still have special love and special place for desktops, but again, I love all things in general. So I recently lost my wired headphones, which I've been holding on to for so long. So yes, never mind. Keep going.
But yeah, in I think see I don't think iPhone and Xbox would be in the same category. Okay,
Yeah.
an Xbox and a PS5 is renewed every 7 years, while a phone is renewed every year by the company.
Mhm. Okay.
And
So before we
hmm,
go ahead, I just want to make sure I understand it correctly. So Epic's argument right now is that just because all these devices serve the same purpose according to them, they should not, Apple should not be charging this whatever price they're charging on their iOS store when the Fortnite thing is free on everything else. Is that
no,
correct?
Fortnite thing is everywhere. Fortnite is free everywhere, but on Windows it's only 12% charge. On Epic Games,
Okay,
on some platform it has only 12% charge, and on some
so they want to
platform it
bring
has
down
to
the
12%. Yeah.
cut that Apple is taking,
Mhm.
and that's why they're making the argument that all devices are same.
Yeah, that's one
Okay.
of the arguments. Yeah. So
Okay.
because if they can prove that all devices are same, then they can prove that all equal fields should be equal, which is 12%. Okay,
Okay.
and that's what Microsoft is also helping them actually in all these things where they don't no one wants to look bad, to be honest, but we'll actually know about in 3 weeks. But to be honest with you, whatever decision comes out of this, it will be not a big deal and it will be a big deal. Okay, a big deal
Okay.
in a sense, it will decide how App Store will work in the future. Okay, there will
Hmm.
be changes. Okay, there will be on there will be a lot of eyes on it. Okay,
Hmm.
it will not be a big deal because this trial will again go to appeal and then it will go on and on and on.
Right.
Okay, Epic is only burning cash on lawyers right now so that it can actually remove the future of gaming. It can change the future of gaming rather than anything
Mhm.
else. So it's
Mhm.
more about burning cash right now for the future. But from this trial, we will actually see what the future will look like for not only this ecosystem, any ecosystem in the world, which tried to do this whole 30% cut. Even I think I don't know how much Uber does, but with drivers it's the same, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I'm not super sure about it, but I know they take a significant chunk out of their
Yeah.
earnings.
So all these services industry which are taking certain percentages for their services, it will be interesting to see how they move forward. I mean, like how much profit do the people who actually do the job deserve and how much the service industry deserves.
Hmm.
It will be quite interesting, but that's why I'm following these trials, and in 3 weeks obviously we will know more, but for now that's all we have got. One more thing that I want to talk about is the Neurosity thing that you showed me the other day. What is it?
The Neurosity crown. That's what
The
they're calling
Neurosity
it. So it's a
crown.
it's a
Fancy.
very cool thing. It actually looks like a crown if you look at it, and this is a device that has been launched to. It's a wearable computer. It's another form of wearable computer like we have with different devices.
Hmm.
So this helps you. The purpose that with which it's launched, it helps you to focus and concentrate more.
Okay.
So the technology that they're using, at least on this on the outside, is
So
very
like
common.
wear a tiara kind of crown, is it?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you wear on the top of your head, and it has sensors which are normally used when you go to hospital. For example, if somebody had a seizure, or somebody is being monitored for like their brain signals, the technology that hospitals use, it's using very similar sensors. So there's nothing out of the ordinary there yet. Okay.
Okay.
It's using same sensors that has been out in the industry for like last 15, 20, 30 years.
Okay.
It uses that. Where it's different and where it excels really is it's collecting the data from those sensors, and then it's using its own algorithms and machine learning.
Cool.
So when you are looking at a computer or you're reading through a book, or whenever you're doing any task,
Hmm.
from driving to eating, your brain, there are different parts of your brain that are interacting with each other. There are different neurons that are firing,
Hmm.
and those signals are being tracked using these sensors. What this does is, whenever your interest or your focus peaks at anything, right?
Okay.
If you're reading something or writing something, whenever your interest peaks at that time, a different part of your brain starts getting more and more active.
Yep.
So what this does is it picks up on those signals, and it would start to recommending you music that would help you stay in that zone. If, for example, there are
Um.
notifications, one of the most
So it's
common
more
distractors.
AI machine learning, and then combined with the whole Neuralink concept that we have been talking about for a while. It's all these three combined together to keep you within that
Exactly.
zone.
So you can
Is
say
it?
this is like a very light version of Neuralink, because Neuralink can do a lot more.
Yeah.
This, for starters, is helping you focus more. If you look at your brain signals, and once it realizes that you're going into that deep focus concentration mode or the
Mm-hmm.
zone, it would help you stay there for longer periods of time by cutting out notifications, for example. Because
Yep.
if you're working, you see your phone lighting up, you would constantly get distracted, and you lose your chain of thought.
Definitely.
That's one thing. The other thing is, if you're someone who listens to music while working,
Mm-hmm.
right? It would go through your playlist, and it would only pick music that it knows through machine learning, and by looking at the way your brain is functioning, only picking up specific music that would help you in focusing. And it's
And
not just the beat of the music.
how accurate would that be?
I
Like,
mean, it's at a starting point. So at this point, their level of the level at which it helps you is fairly low.
mm-hmm.
So right now it's at 3%. It would
Oh,
help
okay.
you 3% more than ordinary if you don't have it on. It would help you 3% more. But in the future, they're aiming to reach 10%. Then obviously go from there.
Yeah,
But the
definitely.
cool thing about the music pieces which they talked about
Mm-hmm.
is it would not just look at the beat of the song, but it would look at the machine learning algorithm will analyze the entire song. So if a song has three different instruments, a guitar, a drum, it would look at beats of the guitar separately, the drum separately.
Okay.
Whichever beat syncs well the best with your brain function at the time,
Oh
it would
my
only
god.
pick those songs.
Okay, now that is incredible.
And all of that is happening without you knowing it. So for example, you'll keep doing your work, it would pick up and it's integrated with your laptop. So it'll
Yeah.
automatically play that song. So it's
Oh
like you
my
put it
god.
on and then it
Hmm.
lets you stay in that zone for a bit. That's a
Quite
really, really
interesting.
cool thing.
And it's integrated with other music apps such as Spotify and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm
For
assuming
now,
in the
there's
future.
yeah, they're planning to come and integrate themselves with all the basic apps that are out there. For now, they're starting with Spotify, the most basic one,
And
and
one
then
of the
go
most
from there.
common ones, yeah. So it's quite
Exactly.
interesting. So, and one of the best part, it is available right now, is it?
Yep, it's available for use.
Which is quite interesting. I mean, do we have any reviews for it? Like, see
Not
the
yet. Not to like back when I was doing research, they were still being used at like a very, very controlled environment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually curious to see reviews myself. We do not have a lot of reviews or any reviews at this point. It's
Yeah.
just people like tech reviewers. It's them or it's people who have used it in their control survey situation. But other than that, no, not so far. But the
If any
application it
of
has is
our
pretty cool.
followers are rich enough to buy Neurosity crown, we would love to hear from you.
Please check it out and let us know. See, what's interesting to me with not only this, but even with Neuralink in that matter is, and I was listening to this podcast a few days ago,
Yeah.
where they're talking about not so far in the future, like only 5 years or maybe less.
Okay.
We're looking into Neuro Apps.
Okay.
So specific apps are being designed where those apps would look at your brain signals, machine learning algorithm would look at your brain signals, and then it would make changes into your environment. For example, that could be through music or the lighting of your laptop,
Mm-hmm.
everything, or the room that you're sitting in, the lighting of that room, stuff like that. It'll make changes to help you focus or help you do a specific task. So people who have difficulty sleeping,
Yeah. Yeah.
this a Neuro app would be developed for that, which will help you. It would set the temperature to a specific level, which it knows by looking at your body's metric that your body's more comfortable at 17 degrees
Mm-hmm.
instead of 19 degrees.
Yeah.
It will change the lighting, things like that. So they're working in future to have different apps that will basically make
Manipulate as
small.
well as help brain to function, as
Yes,
well as daily life, conspiracy theories, everything combined together.
yes. You love to use the word manipulate. I was trying to avoid that, but yeah, basically would help to
I really want to use
manipulate
that
your brain a bit.
word. Yeah, I really want to use that word because it is what it is. I because
Sure.
no, when we will talk about it time and time again. Neuralink is something that will come again and again from time to time. But I will use
Mhm.
manipulation again and again because that's the thing that is happening. Anything that is external factor to the brain is a manipulation, whether it be human or a machine.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is a manipulation, whether it's in a good way or a bad way, that's upon you to decide, obviously.
Right.
Okay. But considering if it can go a good way, it can go the opposite way completely. Yeah, you don't know
Mhm.
the different tests that are happening, you know what I mean? And the
Of course.
subjective matters that happens in the brain. So yeah, quite interesting technology. Again, big fan of it, but again, it's a manipulation. But
No,
I would love to
I can
try
see
it,
that.
obviously.
I can see that. What I'm more excited about, because again, anything that's outside or on top of your head is still not as effective as something as Neuralink would be,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah,
inside
that I
of your
would
brain, so
agree
it
with.
can directly control more stuff. And that's why I'm more excited for the Neuro apps that would come for the Neuralink, because right now there research is going on where people are developing electric medicine. So basically, in about 10 years or a bit further in the future, you can have specific apps written which just deal on electricity level to treat Alzheimer's, different kind of brain diseases. Because you have Neuralink inside your head, it would release specific signals at specific frequencies that would help you cure diseases which up until now you've been curing through injections and surgeries and therapies and stuff like that.
So
So
it's quite
that's the
interesting.
potential of Neuralink.
Yeah, obviously. I definitely agree with the whole potential, and I definitely
Mhm.
am looking for the whole medicinal
But I understand.
advancement. But
Mhm.
yeah, in the generalist terms, I would still, that word,
Of
which
course.
a big company would avoid to use,
Mhm.
obviously because it will affect their revenue and whatnot. But we can actually explain in this video. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
Yeah. So that word has to be what it is. It is what it is.
Mhm. No,
But yeah,
absolutely.
in the end, anything that helps you, because I think a lot of mental issues are problems nowadays, and anything that helps you to overcome it, I think it's a great technology in general.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like mental health is super important, and I still believe we don't talk about it enough. And
Yeah,
things like that will only help to improve that. So yeah, 100% is a very useful thing.
yeah. So yeah, do you think that's it? That's about it for today?
Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. I think that's it for this week, guys. We really hope you guys liked this episode. If you did, and if one of you own a Neurosity crown, please check it out and let us know about it.
I will
We'll
invite you to the interview and we'll talk about it.
100%. Like you can
Hmm.
be one of our first guests on our podcast, and we'll talk about your experience. But until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Until then, bye.
Goodbye.